I bet you've heard the term highest and best offers if you're a seller or a buyer in this crazy real estate market across the country. So today I'm going to give it to you, all the answers, highest and best offers explained. I'm Jonathan Green. I run a big real estate team in 5 states called Streamline Properties on Market, brokered by eXp Realty. I've also been investing my whole life. But highest and best offers is something that's actually been more categorized like this recently. Really, I started hearing about it maybe about 5, 6 years ago when there were so many properties that were getting multiple offers. So in order to make it easier for agents and clients to understand, a lot of listing agents and sellers request at a date and time that all offers be handed in at the same time so then they can review. The reason they do this in general is really to be fair to everyone. So everybody knows, say, Tuesday at 5 p.m., offers are due. That gives them the time to do their due diligence, get things in order, make the best offer that they can. And that makes it easier for everybody. You know what to get. The hard part is we're never really sure how many actual offers are coming in because agents and buyers, sometimes they get remorse. They think they're going to make an offer, they're a definite yes, and then they decide not to. So we really can only tell you how many offers as a listing agent that we have in our hands up until the deadline, and that's the best that we can do. Sometimes we get more than expected, sometimes we get less, sometimes people submit offers when they didn't even say anything after they're showing no response to feedback, and then an offer comes in. So there's a lot of things that make it a little bit uncomfortable, but in general, it's really intended to be fair to everyone in the process. But let's go over what it is. Sometimes highest and best is also called best and final, but there's a couple different ways to do it. Generally, I want to explain to you what you're doing when you're submitting your highest and best offer and my best advice. In general, my best advice when you're stuck in a highest and best situation as a home buyer is to bid the most that you're comfortable with based on the comparable sales and information that you have and the future value, the highest that you're comfortable with, even if someone were to bid $1,000 more than you and win, you wouldn't be upset. So say your absolute top is 500,000 and you find out later when it closes that someone bid 501,000 and won, you have to at that point be like, you know what, 500 was my top. That is the top value. Of course, 1,000 is really an exaggeration, but it has to be, you have to pick a number where you're okay if someone bids higher and you lose, because or else you're going to be kicking yourself and wondering, should I have bid higher? And when there's multiple bids, you're never going to know who the second place bid is when you win. You're never going to know all the other bids. A lot of times, nice agents will tell you where you finished in the process, like 6th best out of 20. Sometimes that gives you an idea of if you need to move up your offers next time, or if this was just a crazy property. So those are some tips to do it. It's the most amount that you're comfortable with based on the comparable sales, where you wouldn't be mad if someone bid $1,000 more and won because you knew your top. Now, the reason why best and final has been really more adjusted to highest and best is because sometimes best and final can't really mean best and final. So say there's 10 offers on a property, but 3 of them are basically exactly the same. They're all 500,000, they're all 20% down, they all have good closing terms, they're all vetted finances. At that point, a lot of times a listing agent's going to go back to those 3 top offers and say, hey, your offers are all the same. Do any of you want to adjust your offer? If they all say no, they're just going to pick the best one. If some of them adjust and some don't, they're going to make a decision based on that. That's why best and final is not the best term to use. Highest and best is really the best, because it's the highest and best at the time. If there's offers that are similar, you want to give people the opportunity to come up. But I can see why buyers would think, hey, you're trying to sneak something by us. But in general, if you have 3 offers that are the same, it's hard to decide. So you want to figure out if that person, if anybody is willing to do a little bit more. So as a buyer, you want to be doing your due diligence on the comparable sales with your agent, knowing what other homes in the area that have the same similar bedrooms and baths that look like this home, whether it's done or not done, what those sold for and how long ago. One thing that's really important to remember is there's about a 30-day window on the adjustments and pricing that you're going to notice. So because they don't release sale data until it's closed, and closings are running around 30 to 45 days. There's a 30 to 45 day window where you can only look at comps and you can't see all the properties that are already sold. You don't know what they sold for. Sometimes we contact the agents to see if we can find out, just to get an idea. But a lot of times agents aren't going to provide that information till it closes. So on the seller side, the reason why you want to do a highest and best, and this is really debatable, is just so you have a timeline so everybody knows what to expect. They know when to do it. But I can tell you from my own experience that occasionally you list a property where you feel sure you're going to get a bunch of offers, you declare a highest and best, and then that scares people away, which is weird because almost every property in our area in New Jersey has multiple offers. So I don't know what someone's thinking if they think they're coming in and not bidding against somebody. But a lot of people get scared off, and then sometimes you end up with like one offer, and then you were saying you were going to get multiple. So there's a lot of parameters to follow, a lot of things that you need to look out for. But in general, I just want to remind you, highest and best offers explains means as a buyer, bid the most that you're comfortable with, that you think is the value of the home based on the comps you've seen, where you wouldn't be upset if somebody bid $1,000 more and they won with the same terms. Sometimes you just can't beat other people's terms. They're going to be cash, you're going to be financing, and somebody wants a security of cash. So you can only present what you have in your bag. And what you want to do is make sure that your agent's giving the best presentation possible, which is one of our specialties at Streamline Properties on Market. We present a full package, and we make good contact with the co-agents to make sure that we have our offer presented, make sure we understand what the seller's looking for, and take it from there. But when you hear highest and best, don't get afraid. Almost every house, really everywhere, has multiple offers right now. This is just how it works. If they have a process set up and a document coming out, it serves to put everybody on the same playing field and makes it easier. If you lose, you lose. Be comfortable with the bid that you chose. Somebody may have lost 6 times before you and they're willing to go much higher. So keep that in mind. See you guys soon.